Hello everyone, welcome to our live webinar. So I'm Carla Guerrero and I work as an International Admission Officer here at TBS Education. So today we're going to be speaking about our school and most specifically about our Bachelor in Management program. So before we start, we would like to present to you a video of our 4 campuses.
If you want to open your world and be inspired, if you want to learn with passion and ambition, choose TBS Education. On the campus of your choice in Toulouse, Paris, Barcelona, or Casablanca, you'll be part of a community that spans the globe. So seize your chance to study in over 230 partner universities. Because it's not only about studying, it's about meeting people, making friends, sharing experiences. It's about life, your way, your voice, your path. Choose excellence, a triply accredited school with flexible courses, a wide range of specializations, and lively campuses. Learn from inspiring teachers and seasoned professionals, all behind you to support your projects and mobility. Let's share our truth. The people you meet along the way are already part of your career. So collaborate with your talented peers, who are all future managers. Gain professional experience through internships, apprenticeships, and double degrees. Progress. Interact with people working for leading international companies. Stand out in the job market. Become eventually an expert in your field. Now is your time to shape and forge your career. Give everything for your future. Get everything in the future. Choose TBS Education.
So I hope that you enjoyed this video of our 4 campuses. So before we get started, throughout this webinar, we're going to be with 2 of our Bachelor students. So we have Umaima and Martina. So I'm going to leave them present themselves in a few words.
Hello, so my name is Umaima. I have successfully ended my 3 years Bachelor in Management here at TBS, where I acquired some technical skills in project management, innovation marketing, financial analysis. And I'm very happy to be here today to share with you my experience across 3 different cities with TBS.
Hi, my name is Martina. I come from Ecuador, and me as well. I finished my 3rd year Bachelor at TBS, and I'm happy to share my experience with you.
Perfect. Thank you, Umaima. Thank you, Martina. So we're going to start with some key elements about TBS Education. So TBS Education is a business school that was founded in 1903 by the Chamber of Commerce of Toulouse. So as you saw in our video, we have 4 campuses. So 2 in France, 1 in the city of Toulouse and 1 in the city of Paris, 1 in Barcelona, Spain, and the other one in Casablanca, Morocco. So we are part of the 1% of business schools that have the triple international accreditations. These accreditations are super important because it allows us to certify our ability of offering programs of excellence and also international programs. We're also ranked in the top 10 of business schools here in France. So we can enter our Bachelor in Management program. So our Bachelor in Management program is a 3-year program. So this 3-year program is a full-time program that the next intake will start in September, so this upcoming September. And also we have the following intake, which will be in September of 2025. This program, at the end of those 3 years, you obtain 180 credits that will allow you to access a master's or enter the working world. When it comes to the program, it is available either in French or in English, so you can customize it as you wish. And when it comes to the tuition fee of the program, it's 36,900 euros for all 3 years. So it's approximately 12,300 euros per year. So a little bit about the program structure. So our Bachelor in Management, as we mentioned, a 3-year program. It allows you basically during the first year to see all common courses. So the first year you choose from all 4 campuses, and you are able to see all common courses like human resources, finance, economy. And at the end of this first year, you have to do a mandatory internship that is 8 weeks minimum. Then during the second year, we call it the internalization year, because throughout that year you have the possibility, it is not mandatory, but you have the possibility of doing an exchange semester. This exchange semester can either be done in one of our partner universities, knowing that TBS Education has more than 200 partner universities worldwide, or it can be done in one of our campuses. And then at the end of that second year, you also have an internship that is mandatory as well to validate your second year, and this time again it's 8 weeks minimum. And then for the last year, so the specialization, you choose a specialization that you wish, knowing that we have specializations in all 4 campuses. Depending on the specialization that you choose, you can switch from one campus to another during the first and during the second and third year. So here on the screen, you can see all of the specializations that we offer. And then at the end of that third year, you also have an internship. This time it's a little bit longer, so it's 16 weeks minimum. So I would like to ask Umayma and Martina, how did you customize your bachelor's? Because the bachelor is customizable throughout each year. So where did you do your internships? If you did an exchange semester, where? And also what specialization did you choose during the third year?
So I'm gonna start. I customized my specialization on event management for the third year, and this was a great experience because the first 2 years I decided to do the bachelor in English, and I wanted to improve my French skills, especially to gain writing skills, comprehension, to be able to find internships is easier here in France. And that's why I choose event management, because it was a specialization in French. But I also have a small social media management, which was in English. So I had both improving my French and continuing in English. And for the internships, I did 3 of my internships in France. And the last one I'm doing right now, and I'm currently in a communications team for a company called Vitesco Technology.
All right, thank you, Martina. What about you, Maima?
Yeah, very nice, Martina. So for me, I actually did the first year in Casablanca, where I acquired where I studied in English also, partially in English, and I did also my internship there as a sales assistant. For the second year, I did the first semester still in Casablanca with my internship, and I did the second semester in South Korea, so I went on exchange in Seoul, which was a great experience. It allowed me to study entirely in English, to discover a new culture, to meet new people from all over the world, so it improves my communication and adaptability skills. And for the third year, I decided to do it here in Toulouse. I specialized in innovation management, which I was always passionate about. And as a minor, I chose HR, so it allows me to know how we are perceived as employees in a company, how to manage a team. So that was my specialization for my third year.
All right, perfect. Thank you to you both. So as you can see from Umayma's experience and also Martina, you can highly customize your bachelor. So choose, basically personalize it to the choices that you want throughout the first, second, and third year. Also to mention that our Bachelor in Management is a super international program because you have an international experience. You also have possibilities of developing your professional experience that's going to allow you to prepare let's say your integration to the working world, knowing that it's a very excellent program because we are top 3. We're ranked top 3 in France, and also we have those possibilities of doing those international experience as Martina and Umayma mentioned. So let's continue. So the main question is how to apply to our Bachelor in Management program. So our application process is quite simple and self-explanatory. So on the screen, you're going to be able to see our different application steps. So the first things first is to go on our TBS website. So you're going to be able to tap tbs-education.com, and on that website, you're going to be able to apply. So you apply online on our Apply platform. So this Apply platform is where you're going to be able to upload all of your documents. So we ask for documents such as your CV, your cover letter, your transcript of grades, an enrollment certificate if you're currently enrolled, or your high school degree if you already obtained it. You're also going to be able to have your English level, depending if you choose the program either in English track or French track. So you must have a B2 English level or a French B2 level, depending on the track that you choose. So all of those documents are going to be required in the application document step. Then you're going to be able to submit your application by paying an application fee. And once we've verified that all of the documents provided are valid, you're going to be able to pass our online interview. So our online interview is basically a motivation interview where we want to know more about yourself, about why did you choose TBS Education, and also your motivation in coming to study to France. And then once you pass that online interview, you receive your acceptance email if you're accepted. You sign your contract, pay the deposit, and you're a fully enrolled student at TBS Education. So that's a bit about the admission process. When it comes to the tuition fee of the program, as you might see on the screen, there's possibilities for you to be able to pay it in different methods. So one of the methods, it's either paying per year one installment or paying the total amount in 6 installments. So this obviously can be chosen while you sign your enrollment contract. So we're gonna probably answer some questions from our students about the admission process, or also about our Bachelor in Management program.
Okay, so hello. I have one question for you, Carla.
Yes.
When do the application open and when do they close?
So as of right now, for our September 2024 intake, our admissions opened in October, well, end of September of 2023, and we open until end of June of this year. So it's basically open 1 year. And then when it comes to the intake in September 2025, we're actually planning on open in October of this year.
Okay, thank you. And can I apply for the bachelor's program if I still haven't obtained my high school degree?
Yes, of course, you can apply without obtaining your high school degree. As I mentioned, you can either provide an enrollment certificate and also by providing your transcript of grades until today, for example.
Okay, thank you. I have a question in the chat from Precious. How much is the application fee?
The application fee is 120 euros.
Okay. And if I'm admitted, how much time do I have to pay the deposits? So
from when you receive your acceptance email, you usually have 3 weeks in order to pay the deposit to secure your spot at the program.
How does it work with the discounts? On which criteria are they based?
Well, the criteria are basically based on merits. So when you apply to the program, you are automatically taken into accountability for any potential discount. So let's say you don't have to do another application for a specific discount, knowing that we have discounts that go from 10 to 25%. So these discounts are based on your application file, on your online interview, and it is chosen when your application is evaluated by our admission board. Also to know that one of the discounts that we have, let's say for next year's intake, September 2025, we have a 10% early bird discount that is automatically applied to our students that apply before the 31st of December of this year.
Okay, thank you. Do we need to speak French to apply?
So when it comes to the program, since it's available in French or in English, depending on what you choose. So if a student applies to the Bachelor in Management English track, you do not need to know French in order to come to study at TBS Education and to study in our program, Bachelor in Management. You just need a B2 English level. Depending on if you did your studies in English, let's say your high school, if it's an IB or it was entirely in English, you do not need to provide an English test. If you're a native English speaker as well, you do not need to provide any English test. If not, then you have to provide a B2 level in English.
All right. I have a question for the students. As an international student, how did you find your admission process? Do you remember your interview? How did it go? And how did you find the delay of response from the admissions team?
So would like to answer the question. So actually, I did the admission process in Casablanca, where I started my bachelor degree. I remember that I went to ask for some information in the Casablanca campus. So the staff were very nice and very reassuring regarding the program and everything that it covers. I can remember that I was particularly interested in the international aspect of the program, which made me choose TBS rather than another school. Then I was convocted to do the interview. It was first of all a logic test that I did, then a motivation meetings with one of the professors I met after. Everything went very well and smoothly. I can remember also that I did the interview at the beginning of the week, and I think by the end of the week I had my answer and I was accepted in TBS.
For me, it was a kind of a different process since I didn't went to the actual campus to find the information. I searched all of the information of TBS online. I got a phone number and I called this person to get more information about the program, about the admission process. And after having all of my information, I put all of the documents in the platform as Carla was explaining. And I think that same week I did the interview. It was an online interview with pre-recorded questions. So you didn't have to be actually on the campus to do this admission. And after going through all of the questions, I think it was the same at the end of the week, or maybe in 1 week. I had the answer that I was admitted to TBS.
Perfect.
Okay, I have a question in the chats from Marco for Umaima. How did you manage to go on multiple campuses, and how did it work for you?
Yes, so to answer your question, I was able to start in Casablanca as it was my home country, so it was easier for me to go there first. Then for the second year, actually, you have to do an exchange semester, so 6 months in a partner university or in one of TBS campuses, as Carla also explained earlier. So I had the opportunity to have good grades, so I was accepted in one of the partners universities of TBS, which was Tongchil University in Seoul. So TBS was already there to help me with all my visa, with the accommodation and with all the procedures. So it went very smoothly. And now for the third year, at the ending of the second year, you are going to receive an email telling you to make your wishes for your third year. So here you have to choose which specialization you want and also in which city you want to do it. And here where I have chosen TBS Toulouse to do innovation marketing, which was in this campus.
Okay, thank you. I have another question in the chat. Is it hard to find an internship in France if I don't speak French?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, especially if you're an international student and you're doing your internship in France and you do not know how to speak French. That might be a little bit challenging. It was the case for me because the first year I was in TBS, I did not speak French at all. Well, basic, but it was not good enough to work. And this was really hard to find a company or someone who was willing to accept someone who is learning French. So I would recommend you, if you want to do your internship in France, to really level up your French and get those skills so it's easier. But after the third year that I was looking for an internship, my French was way better. And I had also a lot of platforms that TBS offers you to find internships, like Job Teaser, which I used to search the internships that interest me. And that helped me a lot, and it was easier to pass interviews because they're obviously in French. And and they like the international aspect that you speak maybe one or two more languages. So I think that it's a challenge, but it's completely doable.
Okay, thank you. Question to the students. Why did you choose that specialization you are in actually?
Yeah, so for me, as I choose innovation management, it was a way for me to discover how businesses really do innovation in real time, because we are in an era of advanced technologies. So if you don't keep up with the market, if you don't come up with new ideas, with new products, new services also, you won't keep up with the market and you won't answer clients' needs that are evolving continuously. So that's why I have chosen innovation management, and I had the opportunity to answer to all my questions. And also what I like the most is having some entrepreneurship courses where I had the opportunity to really see concretely how we came up with the business from the beginning to the end, and it was a great experience for me.
For me, I chose the event management specialization, and I chose this one because it was the one that interests me the most from the other specializations. It was in French, so I was able to improve my French skills, and I loved that it really shows you event management in all of its aspects, like cultural, more professional, like companies, and it's more of like project management, so you know how to do something from the beginning till the end with the different steps, and the teachers are amazing. Most of the teachers who work at TBS are not only teachers, but they have their own companies or they work outside. So this is great when you're a student because you get real insights from teachers working maybe the specialty that you are looking for. So it gives you a real overview of what you might want to do in the future.
Perfect. Carla, I have another question for you in the chat from Marco. What is the difference between your bachelor and a BBA?
Okay, so a bachelor, our bachelor in management is a 3-year program. So the 3-year program that allows you to obtain the 180 credits to enter a master's degree afterwards. When it comes to the BBA is a 4-year program, so a bachelor in business administration. So the main difference is that our bachelor in management is basically it's based on the French system. So knowing for our French system, we have licence that are 3 years. So our bachelor is a 3-year, and it also is recognized by the French government as a 3-year bachelor's degree.
Perfect. A question for the students again. Could you describe your everyday life on campus? The courses, how many hours per week, etc.?
Yeah, so I would like to answer. So to describe very quickly my a type of a journey here in TBS. So it's like starting at 8:30, having courses of 1 hour and a half, then you can have a break. And I really like this because you don't have long courses, so you don't get maybe bored or tired of being seated and listening to your teacher. And also you have this, after the break you have 1 hour and a half, and usually it's the same teacher, it's the same subject. And for the other 1 hour and a half, you're going to have more of a practical courses. So you're going to apply all the things that you have covered at the beginning of the session. So I really like this because it gives you the opportunity to memorize all the theoretical stuff that the teacher had the opportunity to tell you, and you get to really make it into action. Then you can have the lunch break, and at the afternoon, it's sometimes you have courses on the afternoon, so it's the same thing, or sometimes you don't have classes in the afternoon, and maybe the second day the same thing.
I think that also it's important to mention that schedules are not fixed. They change every time, so this can be challenging and also a good thing, because challenging because you cannot prepare for like your everyday week, but it's also interesting because you don't have you don't have like this everyday routine that can you might get bored. So it changes a lot. Sometimes you can have like the whole day classes and it can be a lot, but then some days you can have only one class, so you have time to do things for you, like I don't know, go visit Toulouse, for example. And I really like this flexibility of schedules that changes every time.
All right. I have a last question for this first part of the webinar. In 3 words, could you please describe your experience at TBS Education?
Yeah, so in order to, so I think 3 words is not enough, but I will make it. So first of all, I would say international, because thanks to TBS, I had the chance to study in 3 different cities. So international is very important way to, and very good way to describe TBS. I would say also expertise, thanks to all the teachers that we are able to meet every day, that are experts in their business, and that as also Martina said earlier, they run their own businesses, so they know what they're doing. There are people from the field, so you know you're gonna learn something from them. So yeah, expertise is a very, very important word also. Then I would say hands-on experience, because thanks to the 3 different internships that you have to do throughout the 3 years, so at the end of each year, you have the chance to practice more and practice all the theoretical stuff that you have learned. So yeah.
What about you, Martina?
I think that that it is true. I would also say international is the biggest part, because even if I didn't go to other campus, there's a lot of international students. You get to speak to people from all around the world. So international is one of the most important aspects to me. I would say as well professional, in the way that they prepare you to have experience in the working area. Being mandatory, the internships really allows you to put yourself out there and sell your skills. And I would say the third one, I don't know, comfortable, because there's always someone there to help you for the process. If you have questions, it's really easy to have information from the TBS team, so I think that's it.
I also wanted to add something to the international aspect that was mentioned in both of your words. Fun fact about our Bachelor in Management program is actually one of our most international programs, because we do have 39% of our students for the Bachelor in Management program are international. So you do have the possibility of seeing other students from different nationalities, etc. Do we have any more questions? Perfect. I would like to ask one question to you both. How did you get to know about TBS while you were searching for other schools? What made you choose TBS Education?
So for me, before joining TBS, I knew 2 people from my entourage that were enrolled in TBS. So one in the bachelor program, like the one I did, and one in the master program. So I had this, this overview idea about TBS. I also received a promotional email showing me the deadlines to apply to TBS, and this was like a call to action. So when I saw this email, to be honest, I applied very few days after.
Okay.
For me, it was kind of different, because I was studying in Toulouse before entering TBS. I was only in a language course, so I was learning French. And I didn't know what to do, so I started looking at universities in Toulouse online, and I saw that TBS was really good ranked, like in the ranking position. And I also loved the aspect of all of the international students. I liked that I could do it in English, because at that moment my French wasn't great. And all of the partner universities as well, that gives you the possibility to move around. So that's how I found TBS and I applied.
Perfect. Thank you for your answers. So we are done with the admission process. Now we're going to move on with my colleague Miriam. She works for the International Student Office Department, and she's going to be speaking to you guys a little bit more about all of the non-academic matters, such as the help that students receive when it comes to housing, visa process, etc.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Miriam Shalgam and I work under the Direction of International Relations and Accreditation at TBS Education. I am an International Projects Coordinator and I am mostly in charge of the International Student Office. So the International Student Office's mission is to help students with all of their pre-arrival preparation towards France, but also settling in France, getting started, following up throughout the student life, and even for what follows afterwards. So we are covering a lot of different areas. We have this whole pre-arrival preparation, then we are here for orientation and integration. We provide assistance on the visa steps, so applying for your visa if you do need one. Provide resources helping you find housing, also with the process of opening a bank account, explaining to you the French healthcare system, and also following up with all sorts of different student life related issues and questions. In practicality, how does this work? So once you're admitted at TBS, we invite you to prepare for your arrival in France. So we have this series of pre-arrival webinars that usually start in the month of May with sessions that are being themed. So you have one session for visa, one session for housing. All students are invited to join, and you can join only the sessions that you feel are relevant to your situation. Most of those sessions are animated by the International Student Office, but also by different TBS education services, but also our partner, because we work with a vast network of partners. If you're unable to attend those webinar sessions, then we can do individual follow-up. We can exchange directly via email, set up a Zoom call, but we also record the webinars. Some of our partners also offer their own webinar sessions on the side. And of course, we send you a lot of different resources via guides, via our platform, our intranet, which is secure, into which you have access as soon as you're admitted to TBS. So I was mentioning our network of partners. So here is a little glimpse of the partners that we work with. For example, we work with the Federal University of Toulouse, which provides different services such as Toolbox. It's a personalized pre-arrival preparation tool where you can absolutely book everything via them. They can even order a SIM card ready before you arrive. They can even order an Uber to pick you up from the airport and bring you to your accommodation. But they also offer other things. There are plenty of activities for the student life, such as la Semaine de l'étudiant, the student week, that has major events happening throughout this week, such as concerts, sporting events. And finally, they also offer language courses, including French language courses that you can take on top of the TBS Education French language courses, which are free to work on that French and help you land your internship right after your first year. We also work with a network of housing providers, from platforms to student residencies to agencies, so that you can find what fits best for you, with banks, the most reputable banks in France, and also insurance companies. I was mentioning that we are involved in orientation. So we plan this International Orientation Day that is included in an International Welcome Week. Again, in practicality, the way it works is you're first invited by us on campus to have your International Welcome Day. So on that day, all of the international students from that year are invited to be welcomed by the international department, to have a quick presentation of the different TBS education services, to get a campus tour. We usually welcome you with a French welcome breakfast with some goodie bags, and also invite some of our partners like the public transportation company to do your public transportation pass on that day, and include different activities. We also explain how to navigate around TBS when you first arrive, getting access to your schedule and knowing where the front office is and where the library is, where are the copy machines and the bathrooms. Following our International Orientation Day, you have the Orientation Day that is planned by the program, and activities differ from campus to campus. In Toulouse, which has a massive community of students, one major event that is being planned is the Escape Game. So, Umaima, you didn't do the escape game in Toulouse, but Martina, I am thinking you might have done this. Do you maybe remember your escape games?
I don't remember actually. I don't think I did that, because since I was already in Toulouse during this, I didn't do a lot of international preparation or pre-arrival.
That is completely fine. So basically it is a reverse escape game. In escape game you have to get out. During the escape game you have to understand your way in. So you're being a lot of different puzzles to complete, and to be able to complete them you have to go through the different rooms and the different offices, services at TBS Education, asking them, hey, what you work, what you do, and so that helps you understand who I should go to, where they're located, how the campus works in general. And so that is part of the program. But each year you happen to have an orientation day with your program where all of you are welcomed. So both of you had your B3 orientation day with the program. Do you think that this orientation day with the program is beneficial? Each and every year you do get it. Do you think it's a repeat, or what is your thoughts about it?
I think it's not a repeat, because each year you get to know something new, maybe just to get to see the people that are going to study with you this year. So I think it's very good. It helps you to know also about the facility, the campus that you're going to study in. It's like for me to hear when I came to Toulouse. So I think it's very beneficial.
Yeah, me as well. I think it was important to have this orientation every time, because each year you have a different program, maybe different people who you're gonna be with, you're gonna study with, different classes. So if you're changing campuses every year as well, you might as well have this introduction to just put yourself inside of the school year after vacations.
That's a nice reintroduction when coming back from the break, I guess, yeah. I suppose. Also part of our orientation week are cultural and professional activities where we take students to company visits. The visits that we plan, they depend on the campus. In Paris, for example, it's more tourism, luxury based, going to perfume makers or jewelry makers, for instance. In Toulouse, we are more aeronautics and sustainable innovation based. So we take students to Airbus, or we take them to Etikable, which is a chocolate maker, a sustainable, cooperative chocolate maker. We also plan plenty of different cultural visits, museum, Toulouse tour, visit to Carcassonne, which is a medieval city around in Toulouse, and to Fontainebleau around in Paris, where there's a beautiful castle. But on top of our activities, We also have the activities that is planned by the program. There is the integration weekend. And then you also have the activities that is planned by the welcome team, which is a student club that is here to help welcome and integrate international students, but also activities that are being planned by the other student clubs around in Toulouse, like Erasmus Student Network. So have you been in touch with the student clubs, joined some activities, been exploring around, enjoying some of them, maybe a few parties?
Yeah, exactly, a few parties, as you said. And also in Casablanca, I had the opportunity to do it. It was a trip to the blue city, Chefchaouen. So we were with a lot of international students that were coming to Casablanca to visit the campus of Casablanca to do their exchange semester there. So yeah, we had the opportunity to onboard them all and to spend a very good 3 days, I think, in Chefchaouen.
That's great.
For me as well, I think this was really good, especially for the first year, because the welcome team has a WhatsApp group. So you just ask them to put you in the chat, and they will give you the WhatsApp, and they plan picnics, parties, and visits. So that's really good, because when you don't know anyone and you want to meet people and you want to feel, I don't know, make friends, it's a good way to meet people. So yeah.
It's really great. And so just to clarify, so the welcome team is a TBS Education student club. So it's managed by TBS Education students, and they're in their year 3. A lot of them are international students, but a lot of them are also French students. So they have this peer-to-peer experience and guidance. Usually what they do is via WhatsApp groups, they couple a few of the first year students to the welcome team students, which are B3 to year 3. They're in that last year of studying. So they give that peer-to-peer experience, which is often considered as extremely valuable. And so finally, also part of the Welcome Week, we plan workshops to help you navigate with the French administrations. So there are a few administrative steps that you need to do upon arrival, like validating your visa, registering to the French Social Security, also maybe applying to CAF for social housing benefits, opening a bank account. These can be a little bit overwhelming, especially when you just arrived, when you're a little bit tired from your journey, your flight. You're excited to go ahead and discover, but you don't want to get your mind into the administrative stuff because you would rather decorate your new place, meet some new people, explore the city, enjoy some French food, and not have to deal with the French files. So my question to you would be, how was navigating with the French administration? Did you find help? Did you have resources? Did you find it hard?
Yeah, to be honest, like, you don't want to deal with those stuff, especially when you just come to Toulouse. But like, hopefully we have assistance in order to help us validate our visa, which was very important at the beginning. Also with all the financial housing aid, like the CAF. So TBS was there to help us. So I can remember that I sent many emails on those first days, especially about the deadlines, what to start, with what procedure should I start. And also, for example, lately I had also exchanges with TBS about the renewal of my visa, which now I have to do. So yeah, TBS was very there to inform me and to give me the right information and to guide me throughout the process.
Yeah, it was the same for me. Well, it's kind of different because I was already in France. So the visa, I've already done it before, so it wasn't that overwhelming, but I did have some administration things to do, like renew the visa, the CAF, which is the help, yeah, the student help, housing help, and social security for health as well. I remember there were some workshops at the beginning of the first year. I remember going to one of them, and it was really helpful because it guides you step by step how to fill out the document, where to click, especially if you don't speak French at the beginning. It can be really tricky. So I remember that was good having these workshops to fill up all of the administration process. It can sometimes take a long time, but that's not TBS's fault. It's more of the French administration. But at the end, it was helpful. TBS did help us throughout the process.
Awesome. So before we move to maybe some questions from the audience, I have one last question for you ladies. So you've both studied at the TBS Education Antioch campus, which is in the outskirts of the city of Toulouse. And so I was really wondering, what was the experience like for you, going outside to go on campus? Did you choose to live in the city center? Did you get to enjoy the vibrant life of Toulouse, Southwest France? Do you enjoy the campus? How long does it take maybe for you to get there in the morning? So I just want to know what's like your life like between Toulouse in general, but the TBS Education campus also inside of this everyday life.
Okay. So to answer your question, for me, I have chosen to live in the city center in order to be able to do everything I need, like groceries, maybe go out with my friends and still be in the city center, doing maybe everything in walking, because everything is in walking distance since you are in the city center. But yet, the TBS Antioch was very far from me, so it was a bus ride of maybe 40 minutes, which was very long. But we have, like the bus can really bring you in front of the school, so the last stop is really in front of the school, so that was very nice. And also thanks to TBS flexible program and flexible schedule, I didn't like get annoyed about this
travel
distance, I would say. So yeah, I think the 2 semesters were very nice and they went all good. Yeah.
For me, the first year I lived in the city center, really close to the master's campus, because I thought it was gonna be there. So it was kind of a bad news when I knew that it was far away. But at the end, it was better to live in the city center than close to the university, because the city center has a lot of life, because there's a lot of students. Toulouse, I think it's known because of the student life. So I think this was a really good thing, because you get to really know the city center. As she said before, everything is walking distance, so that is really comfortable. And at the end of the day, I didn't mind having to take the bus for a long period of time until the campus. I think it's better than if you have your accommodation really close to the university and being far away from the city center.
That is actually our #1 recommendation to all the bachelor students in Toulouse.
Yeah.
Really, I also live in the city center, and it's so enjoyable on your everyday life basis to be able to do everything walking distance, be able to enjoy and not think, oh, I might need to leave early before I catch my last bus, because you're directly in the city center. And yes, the L1 bus line takes you directly to campus. I also take this bus line to go work at TBS Education Antioch campus. It's direct, to be honest. Last stop drops you off at the entrance. I sometimes enjoy some late morning naps before I'm being dropped off. And actually, it's a peaceful little bus ride. Just takes you there, and living in the center, you happen to enjoy everything around you in the very vibrant city of Toulouse, which is full of students, and there's always something to do. Thank you very much. I'm thinking maybe there are a few questions from the audience for the remaining time.
Yes, there's a question. We talked about the orientation day. How does it work? Do we have to register when we've been enrolled?
You do not need to specifically register. So once you are admitted, you will receive your admission letter. On your admission letter, we always include the date of the International Welcome Day so that you can apply for a visa also according to this date. This date will always be prior to your program starts, when you will start having classes. The whole aim of this day is to, and this week, is to help you settle, arrive, discover the campus, get around. So it is always included in your admission letter so that you can arrive on time for this day. Prior to your arrival during the summertime, we will ask you to complete what is called the final enrollment, where you have to upload your ID picture so that we can print your student ID card, give it to you on orientation day. And during this phase, usually we ask you to confirm if you will be indeed participating to the International Welcome Day. And we ask you also if you had any food restrictions, because we provide food during this day, breakfast and lunch. And also, we ask you if you want to register to our welcome activities and welcome workshops. All of those orientation day activities planned by the International Student Office and the workshops are totally free of charge, and any students can register to them per se, even though in our mind you are already included in those.
Okay, thank you. How does it work if your visa is refused?
So we faced very, very few visa refusals. We tried to make sure during the pre-arrival phase, especially during the pre-arrival webinars, that you follow the right steps from going through Campus France with this process that's called Études en France, making sure that you apply via the right portal, which is the admitted portal, not the candidate. Then we also guide you with what you need to provide to Campus France, how this is going to go from Campus France to the embassy, if you have to go via TLS contact, VFS Global, via France visas, or directly with the embassy. And then we explain what should be and how it should be presented for your visa application file. So thanks to this process and this follow-up that we provide, these information that we provide here at TBS Education, we've faced very few very, very little visa refusal. When they do happen, what we do is that we take an overall look at your current situation. We ask you to send your visa refusal letter so that we can review what might have gone wrong. Was there a missing document? Were there maybe too many documents? Was there any type of steps that you might have missed? If your timeline still allows you for a second application, we guide you through the step of making an appeal, sending it out, and then usually go through Campus France or directly with the embassy for you to resubmit an application, maybe the correct way around this time. If really you're way past the deadlines, let's say you received a visa refusal the day prior orientation day, you're therefore late in the timeline to be issued a new visa, submitting a new visa application, then what we do is that we resend you back towards our team, the international admissions team, so that they can discuss your options for this current intake. So there are several options. One would be still trying for the visa application and coming maybe a little bit later, because there is always a late arrival tolerance, which is usually around 2 to 3 weeks maximum. There's also the option of reporting to the next academic year. In that case, we block your spot, but instead of starting this year, you will be starting the next year. And then the last option that also exists is, due to your visa being refused, getting a full refund of your deposit for your admission fees.
Perfect. How does it work for students that are under 18 years old?
So as a minor, under 18 years old, the application process is going to be the same as per usual. So you might still be undergoing your high school curriculum, your high school year, in the process of being graduated. As explained beforehand, you can still submit your application even though you did not just yet get your high school diploma. Once you have your high school diploma, you will be able to provide it to the international admissions team that will 100% confirm your spot for the next intake. The administrative steps, though, might be a little bit different for you. Your parents will be involved as your legal guardians in signing your contract for your admission process, being your guarantor, but also for your visa application, you will be required to apply for a minor visa. We also explain this over to you, and usually with minors, we are also directly involved with parents because as their legal guardians, they are involved in the administrative steps and also usually pretty concerned about how preparing for their kid is going to be as an underage student, how this is going to be. So we do just a more specific follow-up, but it is totally possible.
Okay, thank you. I have a last question for all of you guys. How is life in Toulouse? The activities, the costs, etc.
So I would say the life in Toulouse is very great. There is a lot of students, so a lot of activities to do. Also about the expenses, I think Toulouse is not very cheap and not very expensive also, so you can manage to enjoy your student life. You have a lot of discounts also as a student. So life in Toulouse, I would say, is very great, and I do not regret my choice of choosing Toulouse.
Yeah, for me it's the same. I chose Toulouse because I loved living here before, like TBS, before choosing this school. I was already living in Toulouse for 6 months, so I fell in love directly with the city. It's beautiful. It has good weather, unlike the north of France, maybe. It's really warm, and it's really good. You're close to the mountains, but also to the ocean. So it's like in the middle. It's really nice. The expenses, I think it can be cheaper than other French cities like Paris, obviously. But and as a student as well, you get a lot of help from the government as well, and like discounts for students. So you always have to check those student discounts to get like the best plans.
Well, for me, if I were to answer, I love the fact that Toulouse is neither a tiny city nor a ginormous one. So I happen to come from Strasbourg, which is a way smaller city in France, northeast, where the weather is not as nice, I must confirm. But also work often in Paris, as we have a campus in Paris. So Strasbourg can feel overwhelming because of how small it is, and Paris can feel overwhelming because of how big it is. I think that Toulouse is a very great middle point. We have those boulevards and avenues that you cannot see the end of because of how long they are. Yet at the same time, using public transportation, you're 15 minutes away from everything all the time. Super quick and easy to access. I think the transportation system is really well thought out. And also for students, it's very cheap. It's 13 euros a month. So it's pretty cheap compared to other cities. There is always something going on. It's very cosmopolitan, if I may say, because there are tons of restaurants with different cuisines. There are libraries with books in all different kind of languages. There is always something happening. In wintertime, we have the Christmas markets, but in summertime, they do activities on the Garonne, like playing rugby on the Garonne. That's pretty impressive. So there's always something going on in Toulouse. And yeah, Toulouse is a middle point type of city compared to bigger cities in France, or not even so big, because Bordeaux I would say a little bit more expensive than Toulouse. Lyon definitely is. Paris, we can't even talk about it. Bigger cities also in Europe sometimes tend to be way more expensive than Toulouse. So I'd say it's a middle point, and with all the different discounts that you can get as a student, but also different helps that you might get, it's really great. If you also have like questions about budgeting in general, we can help you with this. For some students, sometimes when they think, oh, I might have to pay an electricity bill, they think, oh, if I were to compare in my country, that means like 150 euros maybe I'm going to need to pay per month. Reality is when you're having a student accommodation, you're usually less than 50, you're usually around 30. So we can also help you budget realistically. And yes, there are always activities going on in Toulouse, especially extremely welcoming ones for international students. So I think that was it for our questions. I would like to thank Carla for the very insightful information that she gave on the admission process. I would like to thank you for sticking around with us, watching us throughout this presentation and engaging and asking such insightful questions. Most importantly, I will also love to thank our lovely ladies from the panel. So Umayma and Martina, thank you so much for joining. It was such a pleasure having you and getting your feedback. A student who just finished your program, congratulations also on this. Right?
Thank you.
So again, thank you for watching or re-watching this live. If you are interested in a TBS education program, more specifically the Bachelor in Management program, whether it's in Paris or it's in Toulouse, then you can write to the International Admissions team. The email address is international.admissions@tbs-education.fr. They can answer all of your questions related to the process and guide you throughout the application file and process. Eventually, you can also contact us, the International Student Office, about all your non-academic student-related questions. Again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and see you soon.